It's Betty Jean Baker, and this is the Betty Jean Baker Show. On today's show, we are going to make a Southern staple, the grit. Well, actually, it's grits, because grit is just one, and you can't eat just one because you wouldn't be able to find it. We're going to do the basic grit that we've all had, and then I'm going to level that shit up so high, you ain't even going to know what it is. You ain't going to recognize the grit. Hot grits with butter and some salt and pepper.
Hot grits with butter and hot.
God almighty, that's good. Woo! I used to love to have grits, and my granny would make it, she'd make it, and sometimes she'd have red-eye gravy. Y'all ever had red-eye gravy? I don't even know really what red-eye gravy is, but it's like some ham dripping where the ham bits settle down in some grease and it makes a red eye in the bowl. I think it's just grease, but God almighty, I'll eat that grease all day long on some grits. When I was a little boy and I'd go over to my pawpaw's house. Every morning, Pawpaw would eat some grits. And one day I noticed he was sprinkling something on them grits. And I said, Pawpaw, what is that? And he said, it's gunpowder. I said, okay, well, Pawpaw, you can't put gunpowder on your grits. He says, well, my daddy did it, and he lived to be 98 years old. And my Pawpaw lived to be 97 years old. We would have gone to his funeral, but when they cremated him, it blew up the whole funeral home. First thing we're going to do is make some basic grits. And basic grits is basically water and grits. But you're going to have to flavor them because grits don't taste like much until you put some flavor in it. They absorb the flavor of whatever you put on them, like some butter or some salt and pepper, and it's delicious. Some of y'all try to eat grits with sugar on them. I don't even know what the hell that is. Why don't you just eat something sweet? Why don't you get a piece of cake and leave grits alone?
Leave grits alone!
There's several kinds of grits. There's instant grits, which are real easy to make. You know, I grew up eating instant grits, the little tiny packets, and sometimes they'd have little bits of ham, which were like little tiny pieces of shoe leather. And they were chewy, and they didn't taste real good, but we ate that anyway. And there's hominy grits. I don't really know what that is, but I loved it when Ralph Cramden on The Honeymooners would say, hominy, hominy, hominy.
Hominy, hominy.
We're going to make some basic grits just with some water and some grits. So we're going to do 2 to 1. That's how grits work. So we get 4 cups of water to 2 cups of quick cooking grits. Woo! All right, you hear that? Sound like a witch's cauldron, don't it? So you got to make sure you're stirring them all the time. And once they get in there, turn the heat down a little bit so that they just bubble lightly. You don't want to bubble up too much because let me tell you something else. You think you get burned by a hot glue gun? You ought to get some damn hot grits on your skin. You get some hot grits on you, it'll scald you. You can't get it off. It'll bubble up. I'm about to get burned myself. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to step back. Seriously, it is like hot lava if it gets on your skin, so don't let it spatter up. It takes about 5 minutes of stirring constantly, and those grits are done, y'all. What I like to do is add some butter, and we're just going to dump that right in. And you could let people salt it for themselves, but that don't make no sense because everybody needs a lot of salt. 2 generous pinches of salt. A lot of salt! Listen to that. You hear that? It's like there's a fairy making something, ain't it? Well, maybe there is. I also like to put a little black pepper in my grits. My cousin Teensy, she was scared of pepper for some reason. I don't know what happened to her as a child, but when she would see grits and they would have a little black pepper in it, she'd spend hours just sitting there picking the black pepper flakes out of them grits. I went to England a few years ago. I was wondering, what could I take as a citizen of the United States? What could I take to England that people would love? And I thought, I'm gonna take them some grits, some fancy ass stone ground grits. And you know, rich people pay a lot of money for stone ground grits, and we used to just have to go up to the place that ground them, and we could get them almost for nothing. But now they put them in a bag and put a label on them, and you got them at Whole Foods, and you're about to pay $14 for some damn grits. And I carried some grits to my host family in England. British woman. She opened the bag, and she looked at those grits. She says, what is it? And I said, it's grits. We have them in South Carolina. And she looked in that bag. She said, what is a grit? And I said, oh, they're delicious. And I went back over to her house one day, and I saw that bag sitting out on her back porch. She'd been feeding them to the damn birds.
Feed the birds, that's what she cries.
That's the last time I took anything to England. That's the last time. So y'all, 5 minutes is up, and I have made a batch of basic grits, and they're gonna be delicious, and they're warm, and they'll go down like a, I'm gonna rephrase that. And they warm you up on the inside. Yeah, that warm inside feeling, you know when, I don't know what to talk about anymore. Now, we're gonna get to the Dragzilla Leveled Up Grits. This is my Dragzilla Leveled Up jingle, jingle, jingle. I'm the Dragzilla fairy. So I already got some grits in here, pre-cooked, beautiful, smushy grits. It's like cream of wheat. Y'all eat cream of wheat? That's what it's like. Grits is like queen. I was up in Amish country, and I was standing on the street, and I saw an Amish boy. Woo! Dude, Jesus, he was so beautiful. Chin-strap beards, and he was sitting up on his buggy, and I just imagined my life as an Amish wife. Can you see it, me sitting next to him on that buggy? If the horse could have pulled me on that little wagon, I'd have loved it. It's gonna have 2 cups of extra sharp cheddar cheese. I got it out of a plastic bag. I didn't grate shit. I just went right and got the pre-grated stuff because look at my nails. Y'all see my nails? I don't want to up my nails with some grated cheese. Okay, we're gonna put that cheese right in the grits. 2 cups of heavy cream. I have a cousin who loves grits. Her name is Reese. You know how Reese eats her grits? With her spoon. It's Reese with her spoon, get it? I ain't got no cousin named Reese. 1 tablespoon, a whole tablespoon of garlic. Watch this. Woo! And another tablespoon of onion powder. We got some jalapeños. We're gonna put 2 tablespoons of jalapeños in these grits cooking. And y'all, what we're gonna do with this, we're gonna make a grit cake. You ain't never heard of it, have you? I'm gonna put it in a mini bundt pan. I know I'm a genius. And then I'm gonna transfer these into our mini bundt pans, which will be in the ovens. We're gonna make little mini bundt pan grit cakes. So that's the next step. You ready? Let's go. I'm drinking a little Bloody Mary.
I like it spicy.
Bloody Mary, she's a friend of mine. South Pacific. Oh, it's so romantic. I'd like to play Nellie Four Bush, except I'd be Nellie Big Bush. Y'all, we're gonna continue with our Dragzilla Leveled Up Grits. The next thing we're gonna do is fry some pancetta in a pan. You know what pancetta is? Pancetta is basically the drag of the bacon world. A piece of bacon that is so fabulous, it costs about $15. Given an Italian name, people will pay $10 more for it. I should change my name from Betty Jean Baker to Maria Sophia DiNardo or something. Would y'all pay money for that? Because I'll do it. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Y'all didn't know I sizzle like that, did you? Well, I don't. I'm usually at home by myself. All right, y'all, the next step, some damn collard greens. Do you know what a collard green is? You ought to eat collards every day. Collard is akin to a cabbage. We're gonna pan saute 4 cups, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Please say you've noticed my nails. I'm just a big old drag queen who's trying to make a life as a drag chef. They didn't teach you that on career day, did they? And that old gay guidance counselor, because they was all effeminate. All the guidance counselors was effeminate. But you go to that guidance counselor and he'd tell you what you're supposed to do in life, and you know one of the options that wasn't on there? Drag queen. And it ought to be. It ought to be. Because there was drag queens in my hometown. My mama said, got arrested one time coming home from a club in a dress. He looked a little bit like Barbara Bush, though, so they didn't hold him long. My favorite step is to add some Tabasco sauce, or I use that Frank's hot sauce. God almighty, I could lick it out of this bowl right now. Here we go. You're gonna preheat your oven to 350 degrees. That's 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes until they start to get golden brown. All right, let's take a peek. Oh, dude, Jesus! Now, the next step after we got these beautiful, look at that little tiny bundt cake. We're gonna cook some shrimp. Good old Carolina shrimp. Big old fatties. And these are deveined and detailed, uptailed. Something to do with getting your tail off. I'm gonna put them, woo! So polenta, you know what that is? Grits. That's some Italian people have messed up grits. These are nice and pink, not translucent, so I think we're done here. Put 1 whole cup of heavy cream. I forgot the butter. You can't forget the damn butter. Butter's got to be in everything, anything good anyway. About a tablespoonful of cornstarch in some water, and then I'm gonna pour that good crispy pancetta into my pan. The last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our shrimp in. And since they're already cooked, we're just gonna mix them around with our whisk, all right? So here we go, look at that. All right, y'all, here we go. We're gonna construct our Dragzilla grit cake. Oh, look at that sweet little flower right there. All right, now we're gonna top that beautiful little grit cake. What's that look like, y'all? Think about when your cat comes over and tries to rub on you. Some collards right on the top. Woo! We're gonna spoon some of this delicious cream sauce. 2 shrimps. We're gonna put 2 little shrimps on top. Look at her, oh! She's ready to go to the party. Chives on the top.
Flames On the side of my face.
Now this is a damn delicious Dragzilla grit cake. Let me get a little bit of grit, some collards. Oh!
Oh, woke up today, feeling the way I always do.
That's a mighty, oh, it's good. You need to make this today. It's daggum delicious. That's some shrimp tried to get back in the ocean or something. Make it today. The recipe will be down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications because my bracelet ain't gonna tell you when the next video is out. This is Betty Jean Baker, the world's least famous drag chef and homemaker. The most important, stay delicious, y'all.